and I conveniently forgot to record on the computer. So I'm going to start all over again, everybody, and I'm going to remind you about the exams that are coming up next week. This is the Davenport text, Competing on Analytics, chapters 1 through 3. I'm going to click on that, and it will tell you. All right, you have 25 items. It's 50 points. You get one attempt. You have an hour to get it completed. Okay? I'm going to go back here. That's the Davenport, Competing on Analytics. The exam on decision theory materials. That's the stuff at the supplemental website. Okay? And here's here it is. The exam based on course materials and the supplemental websites. You have the materials are drawn from that. Okay, now the exam is in a Word document. Okay, it's in the files section of Canvas. Download it. Okay, put in the answers and computations, and then upload it here. Okay, you got a place to upload. So you're going to download the thing, and I'm going to go over there in the files. I'm going to show you. Okay. Exam 1, it's in the StockX. I'll open it up for you. Now what you'll do is you'll download this, okay, and then you'll put your answer. I have a place for you to put your answer, like answer for number 1, answer for number 2, okay. Put in your answers, okay. Yeah, in other words, edit the thing by putting in your answers, then upload it, okay, back where I ask you to upload it. And that's the exam on decision theory. Then exam 2 is on case analysis, okay. That's from the Parnell text, the strategic management text, and the material is covered in pages 354 to 361, okay. So that's what you got coming up on the 25th of September. In other words, a week from tonight. So I'd be working on this stuff and get it done. Now, you'll want to click on this and see. It's 20 items. It's worth 40 points. This is exam 2. You get one attempt. Okay? You need to make sure before you start you're prepared. And you have 60 minutes, but you only get one attempt. Okay? That's all that you get. So have your book open. I hope you should have studied before and had some notes and be prepared. 60 minutes basically gives you about 3 minutes to find each item. So if I were you, I'd have my book and be ready to go. Okay? And then it's due at 6 p.m. on the 25th of September. So those are the 3 exams that you have coming up. Okay? All right? Now, let's talk about the simulation, all right? And we'll go over here. Okay. And I'm over here at CapSim, okay? And I'm at my dashboard, and I can see how everybody did. It shows me your profits, financial leverage situation, all kinds of things. Here are the practice rounds, and of course this tells me who all is in each group. Okay? It also tells me how many times people logged in for a particular group. Okay? And so, you know, that's up to you if you can get your work done without doing all that. These are computers, okay? But I do look at this, and it tells me a lot about, what you're doing. Now, I'm going to log into the team, which I can do, okay? And I can log in, and I can check and see who's done what. When you logged in last, your audit trail, etc. So I can get a pretty good idea on who who's doing what, who's participating, who isn't. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back over here to the dashboard. All right. And you can see, of course, we talked about that. Now I'm going to come to the decisions section. And I can look at the web version, or I can look at your Excel versions. It doesn't matter. Now I'm going to do a decision audit, and this will tell me the product decisions that were made by Andrews. Okay. How do I know it's Andrews? Because I see all their products start with an A. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to the professor course section. I'm going to log into a team, and I can see the same thing on Baldwin. You know, the same information, etc. So I look at this and I gauge, one, are you participating? You know, are you how often? And I'm looking at different levels of logins, and that tells me a lot in terms of how people are doing. Now I'm going to return to the professor course, and I'll go ahead and log into a team, and I'll pick on Chester. Okay. And I'm recording this, and I'm going to send all of you an email and say, hey, you need to come look at my screencast. All right. Now, there are your round one reports. You'll want to look at those. And then I'm going to return to the professor. And, of course, I'll log into a team. And, of course, the last team I have is Digby. This will tell me, what we've gotten done, what you haven't gotten done. And how many times you logged in. Okay. Now, granted, logins are not everything. Okay. And I know that. All right. But I do look at performance to see, when you logged in and what you did. And, it looks like to me you guys all met. You got 447 all on the 18th. Okay, so I'm good. Now I'm going to come back to the return to the professor course, and now I'm going to start to talk a little bit about how we did, and I'm going to look at the industry results. And I'm going to start with the reports. And you're going to want to look at every single one of these. Here's the Capstone Courier. Here's your annual report, financial history, all that. You especially want to look at the Capstone Courier. Okay? You can view it in a PDF or an HTML. And you can download it. It was created at 5 o'clock in the morning. It should download for us. We're waiting on that. Okay. It may be easier to view the silly thing in. There it is. It's a big report. Now I'll open it up. Here's the Capstone Courier. As I told you, the Capstone Courier is the it is the Wall Street Journal for your industry, and this shows you where everybody's at. Okay, market share, selected financial statistics. You can see the sales. Now it's pretty clear right here. Baldwin had the highest sales, although Chester was pretty close. Digby, you didn't do badly. Okay. And we'll start to see the change in the stock price. Now you get into the heart of it, where you start looking at this is the end of round one decision, December 31 to 2018. And here's your net income or loss from operations. This is your cash flow summary. okay? Now, if you had to take a loan, okay, it hurt you. And this shows you production versus capacity. And then you really start to get some detail here in terms of each of the market segments, plant utilization, okay, how you did. And then you'll start to see the statistics for the segment analysis, and it will start with the traditional, and it will go on through the whole 4 other segments, and it will show you. Now you'll notice right here, here's the perceptual map. This shows you where different people are. Kind of hard to see with my cursor when this goes white, but you can see that right there. All right. And here are the top products. Now what you want to do is you definitely want to take a look at that and say, whoa. Because I see some products that sold out. And if any of these products that sold out are yours, you left money on the table. Okay? And there's your customer. And you're going to get the guide and start to look at what do they mean by customer accessibility? What do they mean by how does that customer survey work? Okay? What do they mean by awareness? You're going to have the guide. In other words, you're going to have to do a debriefing for yourself on this round before you make the decisions for the next round. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back up here for a sec. Okay. I'm gonna close off this reader, and I'm gonna go back here to the industry results, and I'm going to click on the section called debrief. You'll want to go through the rubric debrief, the latest round, the results, and the simulation database. You can customize reports and a web-based version of the CAP debrief. It's in an XLS file. You want to click on that and take a look. Okay, and you can download the key. Okay, here's a video. Here's a little video tip.
In this teaching tip, we'll look at the CAPSIM rubric report.
Okay.
As you know, a rubric is a set of criteria.
Now, folks, I assume you could probably see this. But you'll want to take a look at some of those video teaching tips because they're giving you some help there. Okay, and so I'm going to go back, and I'll want to look at the CAP debrief. That's going to start to give me debriefings by sales levels, variable cost. Okay. Decision summaries. Now, the rubric debrief is helpful. Okay, we talked about that. And then I'm going to go to the industry scoring. Now, you're scored by, okay, the balanced scorecard. Here are all of you in terms of how you did, okay? And you'll have a link there to what's a balanced scorecard. How does that all work? How's that all put together, okay? And then you'll want to look at the industry scoring. I don't know if you get, I think you do. Let me see the industry scoring. Scorecard. Now here's something that, I think you can see this, but maybe not. This will show you your overall percentile, okay, in terms of how you did. Andrews, you're 22%. You do need to do some work. Baldwin, you're at 6%. You really need to get your act together and get some work done. Chester and Digby, that is quite a good start, an excellent start, okay? Excellent. 73%, 65% are very good for your practice starts. Now, I'm going to show you below here is what they call the top 10 daily standings, okay? And here are the teams, the types of schools you're competing against. So Auburn, Baylor, Benedictine, Brigham Young, okay, Cal State Poly, Cal State University, and let's see, let's go through. Here's Curtin University. There's the Citadel, of course. That's a very, very highly rated military school in South Carolina. You've probably heard it in football scores. There's Curtin University. They're down in Australia. One of the top Australian business schools, Eastern Washington, of course. Good schools. There's the EU Business School, and they are the European Union Business School. And you can see Florida Atlantic, Florida State. These are all listed alphabetically. Heidelberg, that's a German school. Indiana, Big Ten. This is a school, I believe, I'm not sure where they're at. Here's another technology. I think these are in Mexico. I might be wrong. Here's Jerusalem College of Technology, a very good school. Lynn University, Manitoba Institute, Marshall, Maryville's school in St. Louis. Taught for them as an adjunct a few times. McMaster University, that's up in Canada. There's Merrimack College. They're in St. Louis. Mississippi State, that is an SEC school. There's Missouri Southern. So these are not stiffs. There's North Central University, my old employer. Worked for them for a while. There's Oregon State, not a bad place. Penn State University, they're different campus. They're world campus as well as their different campuses. You can see I got a lot of. And then the Royal RMIT, the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, that's the top technology school in Australia. Tarleton State, good school. Stony Brook, Stephen F. Austin. There's Southeast Oklahoma State University. There's Singapore Institute of Technology, Temple. So when you're in the 65th and 75th percentile University of Central Missouri, you can see these are not stiffs. These are good schools, and you've competed quite well. So my expectation is you're going to continue to improve, okay? But you're really going to need to go in and look at the debriefing materials, okay? And look at this and look at the star summaries and all that business. Now, I'm going to go back to the industry scoring, and I'm going to click on success measures. Okay, there's the weighted ranking, the weighted relative, the classic 10 ratings. And then I'm going to look at analysis and scoring. And here's the analyst report. Now let's look at this for just a second. And this will give you the analysis. Go back here for just a minute. Here's the round analysis. This is probably the one that can give you just a quick, I would start with this one, because what they will do is they will tell you how many stars you earned and why you did. And they focus in on contribution margin. Did you take an emergency loan? Inventory, okay? And they tell you, and they give you suggestions, stock price. Then here's Baldwin. So it's each team gets some coaching, okay? And you'll want to definitely take a look at that. Now, the star summary just takes that and puts it into a quick summary of what you want. Now, folks, let me encourage you again, okay? First of all, I gave you a guide, and I believe you might have some online guides as well that you can look at, but you certainly have the guides I handed out. Plus, you can go back over here, and I've encouraged you to do this, you can go back over into, let's go into the modules area. Okay. And I'm going to scroll down here, and here is that, let's see, Caleb Stogner and Team Baldwin, they blew the roof off, and they will give you some help. And if you go out and search under CapSim, you're going to find videos, all kinds of things to give you help and assistance. Okay. The main thing is to bore in on those items: contribution margin, inventory, the STAR analysis are really the first things you need to work on. Okay. Now, the two teams did well, two of you did not do so well. And those of you, the two teams, you who did not do well, let me say this: don't get disheartened. This is a practice round. This is where you learn and figure out what you did wrong. Okay? And if it was a lack of attentiveness, if you made some poor decisions, whatever, that's up, that's stuff you have to go back and talk about and work on. This is the class period for every week is 3 hours. Okay. But if just like any normal course, you can expect that you're going to work outside of class. So you're going to put in more than 3 hours. All right. And I know you're going to. And I know that logins and uploads and stuff like that don't really tell me the full picture. I'm aware of that. I understand that. And you're going to learn from your mistakes. The two teams that didn't do so well. You other two teams, you're a little bit of a slight nudge. And if by the end of the practice round, if you're in the 80th percentile or better, you've done quite well. You just saw the teams that you're competing against, so you've done very, very well. So far, I'm very pleased with the work you've done. Okay, and no problems whatsoever. Now it's 6:39, and I'm sitting over here in my office here in Bailey. Okay, I'm making this recording. And each week, I'll try to keep you engaged with what's going on with the class and that bizwax. And I have another link there on CapSim help. Okay, and getting some assistance. And I really encourage you, all the stuff that's out there, all publicly available information is okay. I can't emphasize that to you enough. So I would encourage you to, if you didn't do too well, don't get too beat up about it, but because you have several rounds to recoup. But don't just fall into a thing and say, well, Dr. Harmon will take care of it, he'll be okay. How I will look at things will be when we get in and you have the last class session. Okay, I will be doing a Q&A with you, and I'll learn a lot about how much work you really put in, and did you really do it, or did you just kind of slough around on it? And then and your grade does get determined to a certain extent by how well you do on this simulation. So it's like a regular course. The nice thing is, one, it's a simulation, so that's kind of a cool thing. Okay. Number two, you don't have to be in here at 6 till 9. You guys can work, as I said, the schedule that you want. But I'm here to help at that regular time, if you should want some help. And what I will do each week is give you a short little video like this to talk about how well you're doing. But first thing you need to do now is go back and learn about the debriefing. Learn everything you can get on how to do a debriefing. Okay? And you could see the materials I went through and took a look at. Okay? And start with them, and then begin to keep your notes and all of that, so that when it's time, you'll be ready to make your decisions. Okay? listen, I'm going to sign off here, and I'm going to be here. It's 6:42, and I have no earthly idea how long this thing has been going on. I'll know it when I stop the recording and then make it. But I'm going to post this over in the announcements, and then I'll send all of you an email and say, hey, here's kind of an my debriefing, and that you need to see this to get ready for next week as well. Okay, so I'm going to stop I'm going to stop the share, and then I'm going to stop the recording and end the meeting. And keep up the good work, you guys, and you two teams that didn't do too well. Don't worry, you will get there.